morning. I feel like I've been a little less vocal with these blogs or vlogs recently because I want to leave it on a positive note, and I feel like if I'm not in a super positive place, that I'm adding to negativity out there. But I also feel that in this cancer journey, it's really just important to speak about what is. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to do this morning. Right now, he had dialysis yesterday, so he receives dialysis 3 days a week because his multiple myeloma hit his kidneys hard and actually shut his kidneys down. So he's dependent on dialysis. It's been going well recently, but yesterday he went in, and within the first couple of minutes of receiving dialysis, his whole body just felt like hell. And he's felt really crappy ever since. He vomited a whole lot last night. He vomited this morning. It's just ugly. Painful, like raging headache. He's waiting for the kidney specialist to be in his office this morning so that he can call and find out exactly what happened. But and I have felt scatterbrained. The girls, they're fine, and then just one thing happens and they're not fine. And it's making me really aware of how, when a system is broken, or something is disrupted within a system, it doesn't take much. It's like it just, things can feel fine relative to how they've been feeling, and then all of a sudden one thing happens and they're not fine. And I think about resilience a lot in the climate space and within our ecosystems and within the ecosystem of our body. And we build in resilience by building up our reserves. Nature is incredibly resilient. But then when she's taxed over a longer stretch of time than is normal, she loses her resilience. And several years ago, 5 years ago now, the year after we moved on to the farm, I was really noticing the distressed state of a lot of our trees. Not so many on our property, but around our property and in the state forests around us. A lot of the trees were hit really hard with the ash borer. The pine trees have been hit with a fungus, and so they were distressed, but kind of hanging on, and then these tornadoes ripped through, and just tons and tons and tons of trees were just mowed down by these tornadoes and just ripped up out of the earth and dropped. And there had also been a lot of flooding earlier in the season, so at the roots of the trees it was soggy, so it was easier for these trees to be unearthed and turned on their side. It was easier for them to be mowed over at the top because they were already in a fragile state. And when I think of Tim's body, it's been in a fragile state for quite some time, and in a really fragile state since last summer. And there's days where he's looking a whole lot better, feeling a whole lot better, and And, your mind can play tricks on you because it's like, oh, he's looking good, he's feeling good, he's got, a lot of positive vision out in front of him that's moving him forward. And then like one thing happens and bam, it's just this really fast reminder that, oh, he's not feeling good. Like he's not, it's his body is really distressed, and there's still a lot of medications keeping him going, keeping his system going. And when one thing happens, his whole system just really takes a hit. He's also had a really hard time with sleep, and so when you're feeling great and you have a couple short nights, you feel it. Like I feel it. But when you have cancer and you have a series of short nights compounded by pain, compounded by failed kidneys, compounded by the toxic chemicals in your body from the chemotherapy, it's so I mean, it's almost miraculous that one can survive all of that. So that is kind of what's going through my mind and my heart this morning. And as a co-partner, a co-parent, a co-whatever, co-pilot on this cancer journey, I'm just looking at like, what can I do to add in more resilience to our system, to our family system, to each of us, so that if something, if we have a new norm and then something happens that kind of adds another layer of trauma to something that already feels a bit fragile, we can have more resilience. So I don't have the exact answers for that. I've been kind of doing a deep dive over the past month, trying to find ways to get support for our farm, and here's the point where I'm like, why am I talking about all of this out loud to anyone who wants to listen, and what value do I have to add to anyone who might be tuning in here? I think I want to just validate you. Like, if your system feels stressed or strained or broken in some way, and you feel like it just doesn't take much for everything to feel like it wants to just collapse on itself, like, I hear you. I'm with you. You're not alone. If I can make you feel not alone in some way, then that feels comforting to me, and it feels worth me putting this out there. This morning, as I was walking, doing just some outside chores, I just started saying out loud, like, thank you to the sunshine, and thank you to the warmth on my skin, and thank you to the dew in the grass, and thank you to the birds that were flying overhead. Just because those things were glorious and gifts to me in the moment. And at the same time, just holding space for the real feelings of fatigue and distress over not being able to fix my husband, or feel better, or shorten the time span that my daughters are going through adolescence and all that goes with that. I trust that I will move to a new place soon, and just talking about it, giving myself the space to talk about it right here on this vlog, it really does help me transition to a new place, because it forces me to get honest about how I'm really feeling right now in this moment, so that I can be freed up to shift to feeling something new. And I can feel that happening as I'm talking. I'm feeling a little bit better, feeling like I can move into whatever the day holds for me and whatever I'm called to bring forth to those around me. My mom's here for the week, and she's going to accompany Tim to a couple of appointments in Milwaukee today at the cancer center. So I feel happy about that and grateful. And I have a day that I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I'll get to spend some time with my mom, so that feels happy. And I'm just grateful that you're here. If you've made it to this point in this recording this morning, thanks for just being here and being present, and I hope in some way I've given you something, whatever that might be. If not, I thank you for just being with me. Okay, peace.